Hello everyone, I'm Terrence Johnson, your host with Senior Symptoms and Solutions.
And this is Deb DeHaan.
Today we have Dr. Nicholas Branch of Physical Therapy here in Las Vegas. How you doing today, Dr. Branch?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me again. It's great to be on the show with you guys.
Dr. Branch, there's a lot of interesting things going on with you and some of your clinic, and Deb and I wanted to just find out a little bit more about some of the things. You want to tell us a little, our listeners, about your background and who you are first? Thank you.
Sure. I've been a physical therapist for almost 10 years now, specializing in neurological conditions and even further in brain injury and concussion. So my biggest passion and goals have been, can we revolutionize how we're treating head injury, how we're recovering from head injury, and how we can best utilize our brains overall? How do we improve performance? So that's been my goal over the last 3 years, being here in the Vegas Valley and combining with my efforts with physical therapy out here. So we've got some exciting changes coming up in 2017 that I think everybody will be interested in.
It seems like brain injury and concussion is a really interesting area to focus on, because it seems like it's one of those areas that's not at all static. I mean, the knowledge base is just growing exponentially. I know certainly when I was younger, it wasn't something we ever heard about. Sure, we heard of concussion, but there was no perception of, those incremental damages that can occur if you're involved in sports where there are kind of head injuries all the time, and that's something that's growing very rapidly now. Can you tell us more about that growth and, where we are right now and where you see the science going?
Great. Yeah, that's a great point. We've seen astronomical changes in how we view head injury, concussion over the last even 5 to 10 years. Certainly they're one of the big myths whenever I'm doing any talks in the community are a lot of people still think that, after you have a head injury, you have to wake them up every 10 minutes to make sure that they're still breathing. And we've learned since then that actually sleep is the most critical portion of recovery and healing after head injury.
Oh, wow.
So, the science has kind of gone away from some of the myths that we've stuck around over the last 40, 50 years and the last 5, 10 years, knowing that, you don't have to have direct head impact. You can certainly have a head injury or concussion in a whiplash. We see that a lot with our motor vehicle accidents, so we're actually noticing more concussion associated with things that we didn't typically see with head injury and concussion diagnosis 10, 15 years ago when you went to the ER. The other thing is, how do we manage it? Do we have individuals rest and sleep until their symptoms go away? And a lot of the science has gone very sharply away from that, and that's where the Elite Brain Performance Center that personally starting with Fyzical comes in, is that we want to make sure we're integrating the most sound science over the last 5 years. Big things are, we need to stimulate the brain to help it heal appropriately. A lot of the individuals that had maybe not the best recommendations, and I personally have been exposed to that being an athlete in my much younger days myself, where in having suffered concussion, where there weren't the best recommendations, and 10, 15 years, 20 years down the line, a lot of us are still suffering from those same types of issues from not having great science.
You just tuned in. You're listening to Senior Symptoms and Solutions. I'm Terrence Johnson.
And this is Deb DeHaan.
Our guest today was Dr. Nicholas Branch, Clinical Director of Physical Therapy. If you have any questions, Doctor, you guys have a website where we can, where our listening audience can find you?
We are launching our new website to unveil all of our 4 clinics coming together. It's Fyzical Vegas, so again, Fyzical Vegas.com.
Thank you very much for listening to Senior Symptoms and Solutions. I'm Terrence Johnson.
And this is Deb DeHaan.
Have a great day.